Hello and welcome to the Etoft21sports Show for December 27th. How is everyone doing? My name is Eric and I'm the man behind Etoft21sports. We have an absolute phenomenal show lined up for you today. My boy XFL Jim, who's currently in Twitter jail. He's going to stop by. Him and I are going to talk some NFL. We're going to tell you what bets to lock in for week 17. And we're going to take a look back at week 16. Plus, Gino is going to tell you his horse racing bet of the day. But before all that, we need to get a word from our sponsors.
Etoft21sports Show is proudly presented by Pointsbets. Use promo code ETOFT21 on your first deposit and get 100% deposit matched up to $2,000.
Guys and girls, if you're not using PointsBet, please use PointsBet. Make sure you use that promo code. That way, they know that old Uncle Rico sent you to PointsBet. Now, let's shift our attention over to horse racing and let's see what Gino has in store for us tomorrow.
Best bet for Wednesday. Let's head over to Gulfstream Park. Let's take a look at race number 5 at Gulfstream on Wednesday. And like always, we're looking at the DRF Past Performances daily racing form for all of your research needs for horse racing. I'm going to move to the number 6 in here. I like Midnight Hurricane. Overall, this guy has done very little wrong in his career. Debuted sprinting at Fairgrounds back at the end of 2021. In his first 2 starts were good thirds against open maiden specials. Broke his maiden in his first start on the turf earlier this year in February. And then from February to November, wasn't racing, was on the bench. Showed back up in November, and now you see improvement off of the layoff. The figure improved, and we really feel like the turf is probably his best surface. Now he gets back to the grass. I think there's a lot of positives about the number 6, Midnight Hurricane. Hope everybody had a nice Christmas. Best of luck. Make sure you tune in here each and every week for the best info in all of sports with Eric. Let's see if we can get Midnight Hurricane home at Gulfstream Park on Wednesday, race number 5. Good luck.
Make sure to lock that in. Gino knows this stuff. I am on Gino's podcast every single Friday talking NFL right now. Then we're going to shift to some NBA. Now, without further ado, the man, the myth, the legend, the one that's currently locked up in Twitter jail, XFL Jim. How you doing today?
What's up, everybody?
Dude, I feel I haven't seen you forever, man. How you been, dude?
It's been like 2 weeks, hasn't it?
I know, and for those who don't know, Jim and I, basically, we record Monday night a college football show. He comes on this show about every 4 weeks. Then Wednesday night, we record Spring Fever, which is about USFL, XFL, X League, and CFL. And then we also record
For the
Saturday
longest time
morning.
we were doing CFL bets on your podcast.
And then like CFL, then we do Thursday night CFL bets. Then we do Friday, we do the BTV show. And then Saturday, it was like basically like the only day we weren't talking was Sunday. And then that 2 weeks was hard for me, buddy.
It was tough. We had the holidays to kind of like deal with family and everything like that. My family did a really fun thing where instead of doing gifts at night, we just like had a little buffet line, and then we played a bunch of like card games, like card and dice games. It was super fun.
Nice. What was the card game?
Card game. I was playing blackjack with some of my cousins, and then we played left, right, center, the dice game.
I don't know that dice game.
So you roll a 4 is the center, so you put it into a pot in the money. Everyone gets $3 to start with. Okay. So you roll you roll 3 dice. You roll basically a dice for every dollar you have, max of 3. You roll a 6, you give $1 to your left. You roll a 5, you give $1 to your right. You roll a 4, $1 goes in the center. And then whoever's left at the end gets all the money.
Look at that, dude.
So my little cousin, we played that 3 times. My little cousin walked away with like $200.
Yeah, there you go. How old's your cousin?
She's 16.
Look at that, dude. Now, before we jump into the football talk, I need to ask you one question. Now, this has been a big topic of debate between me and other people that have come on. Is Uncle Buck a Christmas movie?
I say yes. I think it's like
Yeah. I
Yeah,
say yeah.
I took so I put both like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Uncle Buck. I wrapped those together as like an end of the year holiday movie. So
Okay.
they kind of work for Thanksgiving, but they also definitely work for Christmas.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And then Uncle Buck, I mean, yes,
Exactly,
Bobby is
Bob.
right. It is. Kev, thanks for coming on. How you doing, my friend? Um, yeah, I love Uncle Buck. Let's jump into some NFL talk. For those who watching for the first time, hope everyone have a good holiday. Appreciate you tuning in. I'm on site. I'm still visiting my family here in Michigan. Let's jump into our takeaways from Week 16. Then we're going to shift our attention to bets. Jimbo, what's your first takeaway? Lay it down to me, man.
Takeaway for me is right now it's about the heater teams, like teams that are getting. This is the time for teams to get on a heater streak, like the Jaguars heating up. Trevor Lawrence looking as good as advertised. The Chargers heating up. The Bengals heating up. Meanwhile, you got teams like the Giants cooling off a little bit. Obviously, my Dolphins cooling off a little bit. You got the Ravens cool. Like it's all about who's hot and who's cold right now. Then you just have like the Bills and the Chiefs that have been kind of like steady throughout the year. But I feel like this is about who's hot and who's not. That's how I feel at the moment.
I agree with you. For those who don't know, a couple weeks ago, I gave out the Jags 9-1 on here.
Oh, also, I want to add the 49ers are hot. They are one of the teams that are hot for sure.
And yes, Kev, I totally agree. And I'm sure Jim will too. John Candy.
John Candy is amazing. Love that.
John Candy is
Canadian treasure.
Oh, a god. I love that guy. I agree with you. There's certain teams that are heading in the right direction. Those are the teams we need to look to back when we're going into betting the playoffs, looking to invest.
It's kind of like bowl season a little bit.
Oh, for sure.
In that one regard.
And along with your thought, the way we kind of have to look at it is this. The Bills play the Bengals on Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever wins that game, you're going to see their future prices drop.
Yes.
Whoever wins, drop.
Yeah.
Whoever wins that game, you're going to see them get a little weaker. So you're going to have some opportunity to make money depending on how you do it. So hypothetically, I'm sitting on the Bengals 11-1 just to win the AFC. I got that before they won their winning streak.
Yeah, I hopped on 9-1. I still kind of like those odds. They're just that team. It seems like.
What I'm saying is, if they win that game, we're going to see the Bills jump up probably to 4-1.
I like them at that price.
Yeah, if we get a 4-1 on the Bills, if they lose this game, I absolutely love them too. My first takeaway is this, and this goes to my boys. I'm not wearing the hat today because I'm a little bit depressed. I'm wearing the red and white Red Wings Tigers combo hat. For as much strides the Lions have taken, they're still missing pieces. They have given up the most passing yards to opposing wide receivers and given up the 5th most rushing yards per game. The Carolina Panthers, who are a bottom 3rd offensive team per DVOA, averaged 8.8 yards per play. Just let that sit in for a minute. The Carolina Panthers, with Sam Icy Ghost Darnold, were averaging 8.8 yards per play. They're going to have a top 10 pick from the Rams. They're going to probably have another pick around the 18 to 16 mark from theirs. I know people are going to want to draft a quarterback, but that doesn't make sense to me. You have to draft defense. Will Levis, not the guy. CJ Stroud, not the guy. If you can get Bryce Young, you take Bryce Young. But I would rather take a defensive guy, and I would rather build from there. Because I don't think Stroud, Richardson, Will Levis, I don't think any of those guys move the needle as much as getting someone on the defensive side of the ball will be. I would say just keep on building it because their 3 best players right now on defense are all rookies.
Yeah.
That's how bad their defense is. So you need to keep building that core, get that unit sound, then look to add the piece, then look to add the quarterback. And there's all these rumors going around. I talked to my friend who's a scout. Direct words out of his mouth. With how much the players love Campbell, he thinks you're going to see not like the top guys, but the guys in that next tier wanting to go to Detroit because of that action.
Yeah, that culture that he's building.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Don't Don't chase a quarterback. Just go after, get the defensive dudes, build that unit up, and then wait for the right guy to get there.
How many first rounders do the Lions get next year?
I think they have 1 or 2.
Do you go D-line first, or do you go cornerback, or do you go like DB?
It all depends. Like, I mean,
It does depend where they're at in the draft.
I mean, if Carter's still there, like my top 3, Will Anderson, Carter, the kid from Texas Tech whose name I'm spacing on, the pass rusher. I'm totally spacing on the guy's name. Those are my top 3. Then you can go after, then address the secondary later in the first. That's what I would do.
I like that move. And then I think like in the later rounds, like 3rd, 4th round, you can pick up some like possible receivers and stuff like that.
Yeah, then you can start getting some skill players, but
because you don't need a quarterback, in my opinion.
I mean, I think
not for one more year. I think Goff is good enough.
Yeah, I think he's good enough right now. And with how bad the NFC is, he can get you to the playoffs and he can win a game.
Yeah, I mean, we see he can make it to the Super Bowl if the situation's right.
Oh yeah, for sure. But he needs the situation to be right.
Yes.
How can I say this? You can't count on him to win a game.
No, he will not be the reason that you win a lot. He's kind of like Kirk Cousins in a lot of respects, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's completely accurate. He's in that range with Cousins.
So overall, would you consider this a fine season? Are you happy? Are you neutral? Or are you disappointed?
I'm disappointed with how it started, because if it started better, we would be in the playoffs right now.
Yes.
I really think it comes back to, you have a lot of guys that don't know how to win. And that was evident in the Dolphins game where they blew it. But more importantly, in that Vikings game, when they're up 10 in the 4th quarter with 8 minutes to play in the 3rd game of the season, they lost that game.
Just not used to winning.
Not used to putting the pieces. But they're headed in the right direction. We've seen Hutchinson. We've seen what he can do. The other defensive lineman, the rookie, he's picking up a little bit. I just think that they're headed in the right direction, and they have the right building blocks and everything.
Love it.
Second takeaway.
Is Tua just done? Like 3 concussions is a lot in a season. Has that happened before?
3 concussions. I'm sure someone has got 3.
I can't think of at the very most, I can't think of a quarterback that has gotten 3 concussions in a season.
I mean,
it seems like a lot. 2 back-to-back. Like, I don't like, okay, I'm a big Dolphins fan. I'm a big Dolphins fan.
You're a huge Dolphins fan.
I've been on the Tua train. I've been a member of Tua Non since day one.
Yeah.
I think at his best, he's in that same level as like Goff and Cousins. He's like a passable quarterback. He's fine.
I disagree.
He's so injury prone with his size.
So
that's my worry.
So that goes back to so our takeaways are kind of.
I saw your. That's why I let into it, Eric, because I'm a good co-host.
So this is my thing. I want to know who the scout was.
Yes, Bobby, put that comment up right there. Put it up. Put it up. Yes, you are a hater.
But I speak the truth. Okay.
Hater.
Let me speak on this. Okay.
Hater.
I want to know who the scout was in the Miami Dolphins office who was like, hey, you know what? I want the smaller, I want the less athletic, the weaker, the left-handed quarterback that doesn't look over the line because he's so small over Justin Herbert. That's what I want to know. Like, who was that scout? He can't escape pressure. He has a hitch in his motion. I saw this graph where it showed the wide receivers who created the most separation. Like, literally, if the middle of the graph, this is the middle of the graph, everyone's here. Tua and Waddle are like over here.
Yeah, they create a lot. They're super fast. Yeah.
And I told everyone, like, Gino and I started doing stuff in that draft. He reached out to me and we were doing our draft preview, and we were like doing a mock, and he was like, well, obviously Tua would be going 1 here if he didn't get hurt. I was like, no, Tua sucks. I had Tua 4th on my draft board then. I had Burrow 1, Herbert 2, Love 3, Tua 4. That was my draft board that year. And a certain sportscaster who I'm not going to name, who has me banned.
You want to put the initials out there?
No, because then that's what will tell. No. He was the biggest Tua supporter. I retweeted him, and I said, I feel bad for anyone that thinks Tua is going to be good at the NFL level. And then he immediately blocked me on everything. And now he is bad-mouthing Tua more than pretty much anyone now in the media.
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah, it's true. I'm not going to badmouth Tua. Will you at least posit that Tua was one of the best college quarterbacks in the last decade? College.
No.
Because he was. He was.
No.
He was.
No.
He was. I will agree with you. He's not a good NFL quarterback.
All right, Dan, who do you need here, man? We got Aiken at Las Vegas, Judy at KC, Smith-Schuster at Denver, McLaurin at Cleveland. I think you have to play Terry McLaurin for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you with Scary Terry.
I mean, Judy.
Those are my two. It'd either be Judy or McLaurin.
I'd put McLaurin 1, Judy 2, Schuster 3, Brandon Ayuk the last one.
That's exactly how I do it too. I just don't like taking anybody in Broncos games.
Dude, it's rough, dude. It's rough. And you know what? Best future of my year. Like, my 2 best calls were Kansas Jayhawks football and
Broncos under.
Broncos country. Broncos not making the playoffs. Broncos under.
Yeah, you and Chase got a lot in on that. Chase was heavy on the Broncos hate. He was also on the Raiders train though.
I was on the Raiders under too.
No, he was on the over. He was pumping those Raiders.
But this is the thing, and this is I'm going to go back to this. Hackett had never called plays at the NFL level. Just think about it.
Terrible hire.
Never called plays. And my analogy was this. People don't remember. It was a Sunday night. It was a Sunday night game. And the Texans were beating, I believe, the Colts at the time. And Kubiak was the head coach. And he had a heart attack on the sidelines. He went down. Their offensive coordinator had to start calling plays. And everything just went awry. Like, you don't know that pressure, that pressure of calling plays. LaFleur did an awful job for the Titans that 1 year he was there, but he did the job, and that led him to having success at Green Bay. Dan, anytime, my man, we're always here. Any questions, guys? Pump them in, betting wise, fantasy football wise. Jim and I will do our best to answer them. Jimbo, third takeaway, my friend.
It blows my mind that teams like the Steelers and the Raiders are still technically alive for the playoffs. And the fact that like every team in the NFC South except for the Falcons are alive still. Like right here on CBS's website, they give New Orleans a 40% chance.
Okay, so hypothetically, you're Dallas. You have the Bucks, Panthers, Saints. What team, like, rank in order of teams? Okay, I want to play the A first, B second. The team I don't want to play is this.
The team the team they want to play the most, I'm going to say, is the Saints.
Okay.
It's basically a toss-up between the Saints and the Panthers. I'd probably, now that I think about it, Panthers first. I want to play them the most. Saints next. Bucks last. Just Brady in the playoffs is just different.
See, for me, I wouldn't want to play the Saints.
I don't want to play the Saints. Like, that's for sure.
Because for the Saints, you have to go to New Orleans. You have to play in that dome, which is loud as F. And you're going to have Taysom Hill running all the damn time. And it's
sure,
really
but they've still been putting Dalton in, though.
Yeah, but you have and also I want to see, though, did they finally figure out, or is it just because of the weather elements? Did they figure out, hey, you know what? We need to be giving Kamara the ball 20 times.
I feel like they just figured out that he's probably the best player on that offense.
I know. Only took him 15 games?
And that's not to disparage. Like, I think Chris Olave is going to end up being good, but Kamara's the whole offense.
Right? Yeah, I wouldn't want to play the Saints. I mean, I would want to play the Panthers, Bucks. Bucks have major offensive line issues, dude.
They do. But like, I don't know. Something about Brady in the playoffs is just different. It's weird. He's got like some special magic that I hate.
Some voodoo magic.
Yeah.
My third takeaway, and this may rub some people the wrong way.
This was going to be my third takeaway as well, and I co-sign what you're about to say.
I am so sick and tired of these legal sports books refunding money when a player gets hurt, going on Twitter, seeing people complain that a guy got hurt. It's called gambling, people. Bad beats happen all the time. There's going to be some bets you get lucky, some bets you get unlucky. That's what happens. Back in the day, when I first moved to Chicago, I had a guy. And what would happen is, we'd get the text message, hey, this is where we're meeting for the payout. Okay. It was a different payout every single time. So I'd go to different spots, and it would be a different person that would come up and hand me an envelope. Okay. It'd be a lady. It's been a kid. It's been an adult, male. It's been way different people, always different spots. And I was thinking, if I text message that guy, because it happened to me. I had Kyle Murray over rushing yards. He got hurt in the third, fourth play. Hey man, can I get a refund because Kyler Murray got hurt? Like, what would happen to me? Like, literally, like, what would happen to me if I sent this guy a text message?
My big question is, like, I saw people whining about it so friggin' much this weekend. What if you're just like, oh, hey guys, I had the under in this game, and then the team that was up by 2 touchdowns, they scored again on a meaningless touchdown? I should get refunded for that because they shouldn't have even scored there. That was pointless that they did that.
It just pisses me off. It's 100%.
Where does it stop? Like, it's gambling, people.
It's happened. I'm sorry your bet lost, but it's what happens when you gamble. There'll be bad beats. There'll be good beats.
I'm pissed off at the books for doing it because now it's just, where does it stop?
But they're setting a precedent. Like, they're setting a precedent for this to happen now. And this is something like, the more they do it, the more it's going to keep happening. And then you're going to have a real issue. I remember back, for those who don't know, there's this book called 5 Dimes. Legendary book. And the guy that ran it, his name was Tony. Rest in peace. Allegedly rest in peace. I'm sorry. I had a couple run-ins with Tony. He got some pissed at me for doing the correlated parlays. For those who don't know, I would take the under in points in the first half in college football. Big Tony didn't like that after I got some winners. Big Tony also didn't like how I would take advantage of his open parlay system. And if there was a game 7, in NHL, I would do no goal parlay first 5, wait for the next game, first 5 minutes. And I'd also have one first 10 minutes. And I'd also have one for the first period. So I was doing all these open 2, 3, 4 team parlays. And I would just take advantage of that because of those game 7s. Historically speaking, you don't get more than 1 goal in the period. So I was taking advantage through that. And then him and I got in a little run-in. I was just thinking, he scared the shit out of me when I talked to him on the phone. How would he handle it if I called in and I was like, hey, Tony, man, Kyler Murray got hurt in the 4th play. Can I get a refund? I mean, like,
he'd probably laugh at you.
Jim, I have been in some sketchy situations in my life. When I talked to Tony, I was literally shitting my pants with the stuff he was telling me on the phone, dude. And he was all the way in Costa Rica, and I was in Chicago, man. And I was just thinking to myself, I was like, God damn it, dude. What would Tony say? I wish he was still alive so I could like call up the 5 Games and be just like, hey, man, Murray got hurt, man. Can I get a refund? And just kind of see what we would do.
He'd probably think it was a joke.
He probably would. And then he'd tell me to F off. And then he'd say, I'm going to post all your stuff to social media and there's going to be someone at your house in 5 minutes. That's probably what Tony would do. Now let's shift our attention to bets.
Yeah. Making me bet these NFL games. It's not my market. It's not what I'm good at, but damn it, I'm going to do it.
Okay. So we got college football this weekend.
Oh, no, I'm going to bet the NFL too. Don't worry.
Okay.
I still do it.
I still want to know what your bets are for this weekend, but let's jump into the NFL first.
Yes. Starting off.
What's your first bet?
I'm doing it. bounce back spot against a bad team. I'm gonna double up on one. I'm gonna take the Lions -6 versus the Bears. I'm gonna take the over in that game though too.
Oof.
I'm gonna take the over. I like the over more than I like the spread, but I do like the spread.
Two shitty defenses, I see it.
Yes, and
Goff
two
at
like at least the Lions' offense is consistently good. If I find a prop, I'm probably gonna take Justin Fields over whatever rushing yards. I don't care the number.
I was in 2 fantasy football playoffs. I was eliminated in one because Jared Goff put up 27 and Justin Fields put up 9.56 last week. That was fun. My first bet, I'm going to the Houston Texans +4.5. This is more the fact that the Jags and Titans, whoever wins that game is going to win the AFC South, and then they're going to go into the playoffs. Yes, I know the Jags can still get in the playoffs with a wild card, but that's an 8% chance. They need like 15 things to happen for them to get into the playoffs. So with that being said, I don't know how much Peterson is going to play the starters. They're banged up on the offensive line, banged up on the defensive line. I think what they're going to do is they're going to try to treat it like an exhibition game. Starters only play like the first half, only play a quarter. I like the Texans here. Teams on a 3-game winning streak, ATS, that are home dogs, getting 4 or more, 54% ATS. This is going to blow your mind. Since week 10, Houston 6 DVOA in total defense. Since week 10.
Whoa.
Houston
Okay.
is 6 in DVOA in total defense. I think they're going to be able to stop the Jags. And I like the spot here because if you're the Jags, why, you know what I mean? Like, winning the game does nothing for you. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I guess technically it does help you get close to that wild card. But like I said, you need there's 9 things that need to happen for them to win that wild card. 8% chance. Just get healthy. Try to win the game against the Titans. The Titans are basically, they already announced they're resting everybody. You know, just get healthy. Try to win that playoff game. Try to win at home and get a home playoff game.
Yeah, I like that move.
Cool Kev, you doing most of your parlays on player props? I'll be honest, I really don't do that much parlays. The only parlays I do is during college football and some NFL. If there's some dogs I like, I will do a money line round robin dog. That is, I will take 4 to 5 dogs I like, and I'll parlay them together, and then I'll do a round robin by each of them of 2s. So that means if one of them hits, I'll make money because they are a dog, which means they have plus odds or more. That's the only parlay I do.
My next massive parlays are going to be during the college basketball March Madness thing, where not only do I bet every single first half under, I parlay them too. So,
yes, I do hate parlays. I had to give my boy C Spear 22 a huge lecture the other day about parlays. I had to get I had to break it down for him.
If you could do them straight up, where you're not actually making it a parlay, you're just doing each individual bet after each other, I don't hate that.
I used to like parlays. I would do, I was saying with my story about Tony, I would do the correlated parlays for the first half, meaning I'd take a big dog, and the under, because it was correlated. So if one's going to happen, they're both going to happen. And then when the book stopped allowing you to do that, that's kind of when my parlays retired.
I like throwing one out there every once in a while just for funsies, but I never put a ton of money on them.
Okay.
That's my takeaway. My next play.
Second bet. Give it to me, big dog.
Second bet. It's another combo bet. Dolphins have been streaky all year. 4 losses in a row. They're not going to make it 5. Give me the Dolphins money line against the Patriots. And
Teddy cover.
Under 42. Under 42.
You got Teddy covers there, dude.
I got Teddy 2 gloves, baby. The only issue is if he gets hurt. I don't know if I can trust Skylar Thompson to do it against the Patriots.
I have no idea what I'm going to do in that game. I have been looking at that game more and more and more.
Give me that under, though. Give me that
under. Oh, yeah, under for sure. Under for sure all day. You know what? You know what, Dan? We will save this toward the end. We will circle to the college football stuff toward the end.
I'll open up my spreadsheet for that.
My second bet. I'm taking now. I usually don't lay points here for those that follow me on this show. I'm taking the Packers -3. Aaron Rodgers 63% ATS is a home favorite. In December games is a home favorite. 70% ATS.
I was gonna say, like, the Packers they're just insane in the month of December. It's crazy.
Yeah. LaFleur hasn't lost a game in December.
Crazy.
Hasn't lost a game in December. Minnesota, who has the second best record in the NFC, is 25th. 25th in total DVOA per Football Outsiders. The weakness of the Packers defense is defending the run. I'll be honest, Cook really hasn't looked the same to me. He doesn't look like the old Dalvin Cook with his explosiveness hitting the hole. Plus, Minnesota has some issues on the offensive line. I think the Panthers will use Jameer Alexander to shadow Justin Jefferson. Once they did that in week 1, the Vikings offense was very limited. Cousins, in his career playing at Green Bay for the Vikings, has only covered once, and that's when they were getting 5.5 points. I am insanely low on this Vikings team, as I've been all year. I love the Packers here. I took them at -3. That's locked in, big dog.
The Vikings are like your TCU of the NFL.
They are. But they are. They absolutely are. And
except in my opinion, they're less lovable. I actually like TCU. I'm with you on the Vikings.
I have no comment.
Well, I like TCU as like a story, and they're fun to watch.
Third bet. Lay it on me.
Go Monday night. Bills. Bengals. Maybe the game of the week. I'm taking the over 49.5. I just think it's going to be explosive. Yes, weather could be an issue. And the pressure's there. But I'm going to take the points.
That's a lot of points, big dog.
It's a lot of points. I think these guys could deliver. Especially with Von Miller out on that Bills defense, I don't think they're going to be able to stop what Joe Burrow and the Bengals offense can do.
Since he went out, they're like 26 DVOA against the run. They're really struggling stopping the run.
Big Joe Mixon game, I bet.
I like that. I like that play a lot. My third and final bet. Going to my boy. He was on the show last week, laying the 2.5. They got it done for us. We're taking the Steelers plus 3.5. The line and the movement of the line tells me Lamar isn't going to be playing.
Yep. With
the playoff spot secured, and it's why would the Ravens risk Lamar getting hurt going into the playoffs? They want him to be healthy for the playoffs. So I really think it's going to be another Huntley game. Harbaugh versus Tomlin. Harbaugh, 36% ATS at home. As a home favorite, 20% ATS. As a home favorite of 3 or less, that rises up a little bit, but only to 29% ATS. So he's not covering against Tomlin at home. Flip side, my boy Tomlin, as a dog on the road, 60% as a dog in December. That's 58%. Since Watt has come back, Pitt is 8th in total defense DVOA, and their second DVOA defending the run. What do the Ravens like to do? They like to run the ball. I think Pittsburgh's going to be able to stop their rushing attack. Tomlin covers, man. Tomlin getting points, getting over that number of 3, getting the Steelers at 3.5. I'm all over this bet. I absolutely love the Steelers in the spot.
Bada bang, baby. I like the Steelers there too.
Now, we talked about Tua. Have you seen that Ryan Clark video on TikTok that's going around? So it's this thing where Clark is talking about how he got concussed. And this kind of shows you why all these guys will run through a wall through Tomlin. He's talking about how he got concussed, how he has all these doctors coming in and everything. And they have 30 minutes. They have a whole 30-minute spiel. They sit down in the room. You know, Clark starts talking. No, Clark's doctors start talking. He says it's not even 5 minutes in. Tomlin looks at him and says, "If you are my son, we're not even having this conversation right now." But I mean, like, that's why these guys will run through a wall for him.
Yeah.
Right there. And he's like, "Look, I have to put my head down at night. And if I'm putting you in danger, if I'm not looking out for you like I would look out for you for my kid, I have to go out of my way. And then he said a quote, and as a coach, I found this utterly insane. If you want unique results, you have to have unique relationships, which is absolutely a mind-boggling quote for me and totally hit the nail on the head.
He's a coach's coach.
Cool, Cub. Lots of points in Buffalo.
The game is not in Buffalo.
Oh, the game is not. Yep, it is in Cincinnati.
It's in Cincinnati.
It's in Cincinnati, which is, God, Buffalo, dude. That weather is absolutely insane. Now let's circle back to this bad boy. So I'm going to say this. For those who don't know, Jim and I do a show. It's live on our YouTube channels. It's him and I.
Taking the over.
Every Saturday morning, and I hate on TCU. I hate it. I bet so much against TCU. I think this team is an utter bluff. But I think they're competitive for a half. I like TCU in the first half. I like the first half under.
And they are a second half team, though.
I think that's what I'm going to do. I think that I haven't done anything in this game, but right now that is what I'm going to do. I'm leaning first half under, and I'm leaning TCU for the first half.
I like that first half under just because these are both second half teams. Like Michigan always takes a while to warm up, and TCU just always seems to battle back in a lot of these games. I'm gonna lockstep with you on the first half under. I don't know if I could co-sign TCU first half money line. I like the over in the game overall, though. I think it's an explosive second half.
Can your boy Baker hold the Chargers to 7? The only quarterback I probably hate more than Tua is Baker.
God dang it! I love both of them. Why do we do this?
That's a lot of points. I would definitely lean the Rams here. Staley and Herbert really do struggle to cover as favorites. They would, as a dogs, I absolutely love to take them. I haven't really done enough research in this game. I need to find out exactly what the Chargers scenarios are. Can they move up, or are they kind of locked into that position before I say what I'll do in this game?
Did you see the Ohio State line already moved back to 6.5? It was at 7 this morning.
Well, Uncle Rico got it at 7 right off of openers.
I got it at 7 as well.
Uncle Rico said Ohio State, we got to lock them in at 12-1 after they lost to Michigan. I think Ohio State beats Georgia. I'm saying it right now.
So you think it's a rematch of the Big Ten championship?
I think it's a rematch of the Big Ten championship, and I have Ohio State winning it.
Okay. It's not at all because you have a 12-1 ticket. Not biased.
And Spear, stop interrupting the discussion on my questions.
Are there any other bowl games you like?
I love Kansas tomorrow. I absolutely
God, I know
Kansas.
you fucking love Kansas. I'm going to eat a goddamn can of cat food because of it.
I love Washington getting the points again.
Did you see that Washington has like 0 people opting out?
They have 0 people opting out. Penix is so pumped up for the game.
3 teams.
Texas.
3 teams I found that have 0 players opting out.
Yeah, and
Washington, UCLA, and Duke.
Which is absolutely insane. Duke, I like Duke. If you can get it at 3 or less, I think they win. Duke's
I'm with you.
Duke's going to be an interesting team next year.
If you were like me and grabbed it early, you got him at plus money line. Ooh.
Duke has some transfers coming in. I think they're going to be an interesting team next year. I think that's too many points for Oregon. It's really tough to trust Oregon laying that many points.
Yeah, the total in that game's at 75.5.
I know that Nix is coming back, but that's an interesting thing because they had a freshman who was going to come in who was supposed to be all that. Now he's not coming because Nix is coming back. So I love Washington. I love Kansas.
I like North Carolina at that number.
I like Utah. Excuse me. I like Utah. Trying to think. Let me pull it up real quick. Who I have locked in. Kansas, Washington. I got Iowa when they're getting points. K-State and Ohio State. That's what I got.
So I have a bet in every game. I'm just going to rattle through them real quick. Duke money line. I got the over in the Kansas-Arkansas game. I did bet Kansas 4.5, but I want Arkansas just to win outright because I don't want to eat cat food. I love UNC where they're at now. I took Texas Tech. I got the Syracuse plus 7.5. I got Washington plus 6.
Look at you, dude.
And plus 200 on the money line.
Look at you.
I got UCLA 6.5. Who else did I take? I got Clemson, Tennessee over 64. Two new quarterbacks in that game. Don't love that anymore. And then I took K-State money line against Alabama.
Yeah, I'm gonna be shocked if Anderson and Young play the whole game. I'll be absolutely shocked, especially now what happened today with McCall. Did you see that fall McCall took?
Yeah.
I think that's going to lead to.
Well, Will Howard's back. Like, he's not going pro this year. He's not transferring. He's coming back.
Who?
Are you talking about Will Howard? Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about Grayson McCall, the guy from Coastal Carolina.
No, who are you talking about in the Kansas State Alabama game?
I'm talking about Bryce Young.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
Bryce Young and Will Anderson. Those guys were saying they're going to play. That's why
I think Will Anderson plays the whole game because I think he's coming back.
No,
I don't think Will Anderson is done.
I thought he was going.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking the K-State quarterback because he's Will Howard.
Yeah.
My bad. My bad. Yes. You're right.
Because here's the thing, man. This is their time. This isn't like a normal person that has a 9-to-5 job. They have X amount of years to maximize their earning potential. And when you go out there and when you risk it, like McCall could have had a broken neck with the fall he took. It was a nasty fall. He exited the game. That's why I'm going to be shocked. One real quick thing. I'll dive into this a little bit more on the podcast. Sean Payton ain't going to Denver. He ain't going to Denver, and I'm going to tell you why. Why would you go to a place where you have to play Mahomes and Herbert 4 games? Doesn't make any sense. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents for that. Jim, I'd like to thank you for coming on and talking a little NFL. Why don't you tell everyone where they can find you on social media?
Normally you can find me on Twitter at XFLJim. I mean, I'm still there technically. I just can't tweet for another 10 hours. You can find me on YouTube at XFLJim. I got a lot coming up this week. I took the week off work so I can focus on videos and everything like this. You can find me with this guy every Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and usually Saturday mornings. We've got the XFL coming up, so there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in my life.
Maybe we'll be live Saturday night. We'll Jim and I are going to do a show for the games on Saturday. Recording time to be TDA based on my travel schedule.
And I'll be streaming tomorrow for the Liberty Bowl.
Yes, I will be on that stream as well. We'll tweet that stuff out. At least I'll tweet it out because Jim's in jail. Make sure to give Jim a follow at XFL Jim on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Until next week, boys and girls.